Okay, so we will start our class, and I'm going to share my screen. So first I need to bring that notes up to the right location. Okay, here. Okay. So last class we kind of in the middle of note 3. So note 3 starting with the discussion of hold on, I have some I need to admit all. Let me see, admit all. Okay, and start with tuple, yeah, and then we move on to list. And we did a number of things with list. And today, let's move to cell 3. So in cell 3, and if you take a look the cell 3 code over here, it's M is list, is it? So the outermost 2 square brackets. But within it, if you take a closer look, you will see it has 3 more square brackets, is it? So with multi-level of the square brackets, so basically over here, we define a 2-dimensional list, kind of like a 2-dimensional array, is it? So if you view it in your mind, it will look like something like this. Then 10, 11, 12, is it? 20, 21, 22, something like this. So it's multi-dimensional. So for list, you can also do multi-dimensional. In this case, you just keep group your sublist within a single pair of the square brackets, okay? And when you refer, like the first case, is it use sub-0? Then for this sub-0, it's going to be the first sublist. Okay, so not the individual number. And if you want to get the specific numbers, just like 2D array, is it? Then you need to specify, like in this case, it's the first sublist, it's second column, is it? Second column. So that's why it's M sub-0 and sub-1, is it? Yeah, so you can try with other cases. And what next shows is here you define a list, is it? We call it nested. And then we have this original list. And within it, the nested is embedded within the original. And for the original, it's not a homogeneous list, is it? Because the next 3 are numbers. The first one is a list. So we discussed in list, this is allowed in Python, okay? So the first item in the original list is another list. So it's a sublist. And here we have the concept about shallow copy. Okay, so then if you change and nested the first item to 100, is it? Because it's supposed to look like this. Then it's supposed to look like 0, 1, and then follow 100, 200, 300. And this is nested, what a nested refer. And this whole thing is original. That, and you change the first item. So you change this to -100, is it? So basically you can see even from my drawing, if you change this, original will also got be impacted. Okay, so that's the idea about shallow copy. Okay, so basically nested also point to that specific item in the original. So that's why if you change that item, original also got changed. Okay, so this is the concept. And over here, what it says, if you do slicing, slicing is also shallow copying, is it? So here, this is shallow, you get, you use the slicing to get all of the items out from the original, is it? And later on, you change this item to 0, is it? So basically now this is shallow. So this is our shallow. So shallow also point here, original also point here, because shallow get everything from original, is it? And we said shallow is a shallow copy in this case, is it? Because you just assign original to shallow, is it? So, okay, you said, okay, I want to change the first item in the list. So this is the first item in the list. In list, is it? So that's why you have that sub-0, is it? But then because this is a list, is it? You said I also want to change its first item, is it? So then it's going to be this specific item. So this is sub-0, another sub-0, is it? You say I want to change this to 0. So that's how you change this to 0, is it? And you think I only change on shallow, is it? Shallow, change it on the sliced copy, but basically you can see the original also got changed. So that's why we say here it's a shallow copy. Okay, if you really want to do a deeper copy, then you need to have this method called deep copy. Okay, then in that case, you will have another copy, is it? It's called 0, 1, is it? And then 100, 200, 300, is it? So this is deep. This is deep. And then you change the first item to 0. You change this to 0, is it? And will that impact original? No. That it won't impact. So that's why this is called deep copy. Okay, so just be careful when you write your program. You want to make sure you want to change the original or not. Okay, and here it also explains extend, because last time we also learned you can also expand the list using concatenation, is a do plus. If you add these two lists together, basically it's expansion list. So then you can also do the same thing with the calling of extend function. But the difference between these two is extend is much faster. Okay, so that's why over here it says if you build up a large list, is it? Then you can use extend better than do the concatenation. Okay, that's just some side notes considering about speed. Okay, the next new thing in the next cell, the new cell 3, this is a very important concept. Okay, in Python we call it dictionary. Dictionary. And in other program, in Java, you may also learn it's a map. And basically it's for what? It's to store key value pair. Key value pair, okay. And the dictionary, the advantage for dictionary, I believe, if you learn some other class, you may know is that it's faster for lookup. lookup. Because you don't need to do one by one comparison. That what you look through key, and you will directly find the value. So it's much faster. So in Python, how do we define a dictionary? So dictionary is for key value pair. It uses curly brackets. Okay, and then with colon. So key and the value, and then comma and key 2, value 2, then comma, key 3, value 3. It looks like, and previously we learned the two other ones. The list is square brackets. A parenthesis is for the tuple. Here we learn the curly brackets. This is for key value pair for dictionary. And dictionary, you will see it's very powerful, okay? So let's see, in this case, you have this list. This list has some string, And here there is another function called enumerate, okay? So what this enumerate will give you is it will give you a number starting from 0. The second, whenever it does the loop, the second one it will give number 2, will give number 3, plus whatever in the list in this case, And then you assign, so over here, any individual item is from the list. So V you get from list, I is, so I over here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Based on the length of the list? And over here, key, you get key from this list. And this part is value. Okay, the value. So basically, after we finish this loop, what we have, you're going to have like a full. That's corresponding to value 0. And then you have second one is bar. And the corresponding value is 1. And then you have the third base. And the value of colon is 2. So that's what your dictionary is. Okay, so it has, so if you take a close look, you will find it's different from list and the tuple, So here we have list, And the previous we also learned that you can zip list together, to have the pair, So this is nothing new. And in this case, we have the third list, And you can also do the zip, the 3 together. And then when you zip the 3 together, this one, the length is different from the previous 2. Here you have 3, here you only have 2 items, Then for this list, it will only retrieve the first 2. So it will use the shortest one, okay? Shortest sequence to do the zip. So that's just some side notes here. Okay, and then for the enumeration, you can do the same thing as this. So that's about this. So next one, the next cell is regarding dictionary. And like I explained before, dictionary is very important, okay? So you can start an empty dictionary like this. So here you start an empty dictionary. Empty dictionary. Okay, and then you start to assign value, So all of this color, this is the key part, And then you use the assignment, and on the right side is the value part. Okay, and this dictionary concept, basically it's kind of like the phone book. With the phone book, you have your contact name, and so the name, so your friend name. So name and the number. So name is a key, You search name and then you find the phone number. So similar concept here, So here you fill the dictionary. And how do you get the value? Is it just like you use a phone book? You provide a key? You say, oh, okay, with this color. What is the corresponding? And over on the right side, it's the French word for the corresponding color. Is it? So what's the French word for color? It then will give you. So you use key. You use key to search. Is it? Otherwise, just think about if you don't, and this will give you right away. Is it? Otherwise, just think about, so you have this key value pair. Is it? You have red, and its value is rock. And then you have blue. Then it's BLEU for French. And then you have the green. And the French is vert. So you have this, is it? And with dictionary, you see, I said, oh, I want to find the blue. It's in French. It will. So it won't need to do the one-by-one search. It will directly locate its French word. If you don't use dictionary, then you need to do one-by-one comparison. Is it? So that's why we say dictionary is faster. Okay. Anyway, so that's how the dictionary. And you can also start your dictionary like this, just like what I already showed. Is it? And you can also convert. Is it? And over here is how do you get all of the keys, all of the values from the dictionary. So you just call the keys, the values, then it will give you all as a list, okay? And you can also get all of the key value pair, okay? And it will also be as a list. And it says as a tuple of the list, okay? So that's about a dictionary. And then, so like over previously, is it what we showed, is it, and you can specify like a key. You can use square brackets like this. So this will give you value, is it? Find the value. Is it? You can also call the dot get method. Okay, so if you call dot get method and then specify key, so dot get, and then you need to pass in the key. Okay, and here is a comma. So if you don't provide anything, by default, it will be none. Okay, and if you do provide comma here, and then like here, no translation, is it? Then what this part will serve as default value. Default value. So suppose like in our case, is it I call that get. Yet we didn't provide like the orange color, is it? And if you provide this and no translate, is it? Then in this case, because orange is not a key in your English to French translation, so what it will give you, the return value is no translation. Okay, so that's what this get means. You can also do set default. You provide, so whatever, if there is no value provided, then you just use this as the default value. And the next one shows, over here, we have X is a map, is it? So the key in this case is number, but the value part is it's list, okay? So you can also use a list in dictionary, as a list in dictionary. But just be careful, it says it's a shallow copy. So if you change the list, it will also change the corresponding dictionary, okay? So that's the dictionary, and if you really don't want it to be changed, then you need to do the deep copy, okay? So just make sure how how you deal with shallow copy and deep copy. And what next shows is the update function with dictionary, is it? So X is a dictionary. So this is a dictionary, pretty simple. Is it? Then you call the data update, and Z is another dictionary. Second dictionary. The second dictionary. And if you say X data update Z, is it? So it will see, oh, this one, the value has, then it will be updated with Z's. And if like the 0 key, is it? It doesn't exist. Z, 2. This not exist in X, is it? So then X will be updated also include 2 and the 2 in its key value pair. Okay, so that's what update means. And then let's move on. So over here, we will see a very nice application about dictionary. And then you will also see how effective dictionary is it? So we have this string, that, and here so this occurrence is a dictionary. And then for the string, if you do string split call, is it? So it will get each single word out, because it will use space. So it will use space to tokenize each word out, is it? It will get each word out, then what it says, okay, so this occurrence is a dictionary, is it? And in this dictionary, what will be the key? So each word will be the key, is it? So each word will be the key. And B, is it? And the colon, is it? Colon. So each word will be the key. And then what will be the value? The value is just to do what? It's just to get the first letter. This is the first, this is a word. So this does word count, okay, word count. So it get the word. So in the beginning, the dictionary is empty. It's empty, is there nothing there? Okay, so let's see. It gets 2, okay, 2 is here, is it? What 2 value is? Okay, this is the default. Default is 0, is it? Default is 0. Okay, and then B, the default is 0. So it will keep doing like form this dictionary, is it? And then let's see, when it gets the second 2, is it? When it gets second 2, the occurrence already has 2, is it? It already has 2. And what it will do, it will use whatever the value currently has, it's 0, is it? It's already 1. It's all because first time it will get 0 and then it will be updated as 1, is it? And now it will do what? It will add another 1, so it will be updated to 2, is it? So over here, what it's trying to show is you can use default value. Use default value, is it? To initial your dictionary, is it? So you just provide, in this case, it's 0, is it? Because it's never occurred. And if it occurs once, then it will be, and then you can also update it, is it +1. So this kind of word counting compares the general way that you may do as you need to do one-by-one search is much more efficient, is it? Because it go to that word directly, don't need to do another linear search again, is it? So that's what this example shows, so quite effective. And here it also says, okay, so dictionary key is a generally, so just remember this part. Not every Python object can be a dictionary key. So key must be immutable objects. Who are the immutable objects, like integer, float, string, is it scalar, or tuple, is it? So only those can serve as key, not everything. And basically this concept is because those Python objects, they are hashable. Hashable means they are unique, is it? So your key should be unique. Should be unique, is it also? Okay, so that's about key. And what next, try to show the same thing, okay? So here you can also use dictionary to represent some large sparse matrix. Sparse matrix means within the matrix that you have a lot of zero, and all of those may be just zero, etc. So that's called sparse matrix. And in that case, you can define something like this. So what this tuple is used to specify 0, 0, etc., or 0, 2. It's to specify in matrix row number and the column number, is it? So for the corresponding row, so 0, 0, is it what the value is? In this case, 3. So this matrix, the first item is 3, is it? And then what of the remaining 0, 1 is 0. And then 0, 2 here is negative 2, is it? So then in this case, all of the ones are zeros. It don't need to mention, is it? It's just use whatever this default one. Is it 0? Yeah, so here it shows again, using default values, you can speed up like to specify your data structure. And what the next one, similar concept as the previous two example, is it a word count or the sparse matrix? So the idea is with the default value of dictionary, you can expedite your processing. And what is the next one is we can also create a dictionary from sequence, okay, from sequence. So here, let's see. So this is a dictionary, is it? And you have two sequence. It may be list, maybe tuple, is it? And you can do zip, is it? And you get the key, is it, from the first sequence, and the value will be from the second sequence. And then you can do this to do the assign the value to the key to build the dictionary. Okay, so that's a dictionary. Or if you want, you can also just call dict. This dictionary's word is a dict. You call this dict, and then this is to call dictionaries constructor. Is it? And within the you zip two sequences together. Okay, so that's the idea about this part. And what is the next one? Further show how do we do the default values for dictionary? Because you already see it's quite useful, is it? So here we have the list and we have the dictionary. Dictionary initially is empty, is it? Empty. Okay, so you get the first letter out from each of the word. So that means you get each first letter. First letter, is it? And what you will do is the first letter will be used as what? The first letter will be used as key. So this is key. And what is your value? So key is first letter. But first, let's think about, we only have 26 letters, is it? And the value is what? Value in this case is a list, is it? What will be the list? The list of words, is it? So you will group by the first letter, is it? So in this case, for A, is it? What you will have is a list of apple and what? In this case, atom. Is it? So the value is a list. And you can see this is also quite efficient, is it? So over here, you can call set default, is it? So you initial, the default will be an empty list. Default is empty, is it? So then you can keep adding, is it? Or if you don't want to use set default, you can also from the Python package called collection. So similar concept as in Java, okay? You import the default dictionary module, is it? And then you initialize it. You said, okay, I'm going to initialize the dictionary, is it? Dictionary's value is going to be list, is it? And the default one, so it will know, okay, it's an empty list. So that's, so you have both ways to do the default dictionary setting. And what is the next one further shows the default. How do we do the default? So over here, I have the dictionary, is it? And I do the set. So C is a key. This is the key, is it? So no default explicitly set, is it? So then by default, it will be the word none. Okay, so when you output C, you will see it's none. It's none, okay. And if you do that like this, if I say, okay, if the key doesn't exist, then by default it's machine learning, is it? Then you, in this case, you will see, because DK is not in this dictionary yet, is it? Okay, so I add this new key. Then by default, I didn't provide, it will use machine learning, is it? So that's why over here you have D machine learning. So here just shows how do you use default, and it's very powerful, okay, for dictionary. Okay, so we get this one done, and I will move on to the next note, note 4. Yeah. And note 4 is quite simple, okay? It's about another data structure, it's called set. It's a set, okay, set. And so far we have learned list, we have learned tuple, we also learned dictionary, is it? So what is a set? Is it a set? So set, it will take, so the values in set is unique, cannot repeat, okay? In list, you can have one, you can have it multiple times, but in set, no matter like you initialize this set X, is it, with this sequence of numbers, is it, you have 2, 1. But what your set will show, it will only show the unique ones, is it? 1, it, even though over here it appears twice in your list, but it will only occur once. 3, same thing, is it will occur twice in your list, but in your set it only has once, okay? So set, so only unique numbers, is it? Unique items won't allow repetitive. So a lot of times quite useful, is it? Because you want to get unique items out. And you can also add, remove to set, is it? Even though you add 5, but Oh, here you remove 5. If over here you say add 5 because 5 is already there, then 5 won't be added to the set, is it? And here we have another set Y, is it? And you can also combine different set together, is it? So this is called union, is it? X and Y, is it? Union them together. And you can also do intersection, is it? And you can also find the difference between two sets, okay? So those just, so this concept is pretty straightforward, okay, for set. And then next, let's see, see the next note. The next note. Oh, next note is, it's also one of the very nice thing about Python, okay? So it's called list set or dictionary comprehensions. Very, very powerful, okay? And concise way of programming. And in professional code, you see this a lot, okay? So what it looks like is it has an expression, and for some loop in certain connection, collection. So collection means it's a list or a set or a dictionary, is it something like that? And some filtering condition. Okay, filtering. And if you learn Java, Java, you remember it has the aggregation operations. Okay, or we call it functional operations. So if you have some collection, is it? So some collection, and you call data string, is it? Then you can call some function to do filtering, and then do a lot of more, is it? And in the past, this going to, if you write a regular way, it need a number of statements. To finish off the job, is it? To finish a loop, to finish filtering, is it? And then some more work, is it? But here, single statement. And in professional coding, you will see this kind of single statement doing multiple tasks a lot. Okay, so let's see. So here we have a list, quite straightforward. Is it? Then let's see the second one. So it's within a brackets. Is it within a brackets? So within a bracket means it's a new list. So how did it filter the new list? Let's see. This is the for each loop. Is it? Okay, so X in the strings. String is this list. So X will be A, and then follow AS, follow batch, is it? So that will be X, is it? Value. And what's the filtering condition? It must have more than 2 letters, is it? So then definitely the first 2, it won't do anything. The third one, 3 letters. What it's going to do, it will convert everything to uppercase. So then in this case, if the word has more than 2 letters, it will convert all of them to uppercases. You can see, if we haven't learned this, then you need to write multiple lines of code, is it? But now you see, after we learn this concept called comprehension, just a single statement, it finishes off the tasks, okay? And so this is used a lot in professional world. And then let's see the next example. In this case, we have 2 sublists. Is it? We also have sublist. So this is a list. and this is sublist. Sublist, is it? And what it's do? So the outer loop, is it outer loop? Okay, loop through the first list, through the second, and then inner loop. Inner loop, loop sublist. Is it sublist? And then what? It will find within each name how many E it has. If it has more than one E, if it has 2 or more E, what it's going to is just get out of the name. So what this part is doing is, okay, you have a number of names. You want to find out all of the names that has 2 or more E's. Is it? And the regular way, you need to write a number of line of code, and here just a single line. Is it? And for tuple, you can over here see. Is it? Even for tuple, you can also do this. So this is that you can also. So initially, it's a 2-dimensional data structure. So you have 3 rows and 3 columns. It's a 2-dimensional. And after you do this, it will flatten out, convert them to 1-dimensional data structure. Is it? So you just use 2 loop. Is it? And then just get everything. Okay. So that's the idea about list set comprehension. Okay, quite useful. And then let's see the next one. Let me get it up. Okay, the next one, the first series is quite simple. It's just a function can return multiple values. We already see that. Okay, so nothing new. Over here, the second series, this is quite useful also because in Python, okay, in other programming language, we never mentioned this, something like this. But in Python, function also considered as objects. And with this concept, it's quite good. Okay, let's see. Here we have a function. Is it? So what this function going to do is, if in your string you have exclamation mark, pound, question mark, if there's anything like that, it will be substituted with nothing. So basically, it will remove those 3 special signs. Is it? That's what this function does. Okay, then let's see. Here, this is our variable. What this variable's type is? It's a list. What's in the list? So this is a string title. This is a string strip function. Is it? So both of them are string functions. And this is a function that we just defined. Is it? So over here, you see, it's list of functions. Is it? So here, basically, you also treat all of the functions as what? As objects. Is it? And store them in the list. And then it will be very efficient then. So here you define a function. I try to clean my strings. Is it? Like the string show here. And you can have all the string in a list. Is it? Then for each of the string, because you are going to clean the string, you need to replace all of the space and the exclamation mark, or you want to convert it to a title. Is it? So a number of operations you are going to apply. Then in this case, you can use the loop. Let it loop through what? Through this list of operations. Is it? So that you don't need, like if we haven't learned that, then This is the traditional way you're going to write. Is it okay for each word you call strip, you call sub, you call title? Is it something like that? But after we learn that, then you see you can group all of the operations together. Is it? And then loop it. Okay, the next concept is also quite useful. It's for function parameter. And sometimes for function parameter, you can define function parameter, you will see there is one asterisk ahead of the arguments. What does that mean? Is it, so then in this case, it means, so versus this, just number 1, number 2, is it? Those are called positional arguments. Is it? And when you call this function, you need to match exactly. Is it? And then in this case, flexible. So this allows variable length of arguments. Okay, so you can pass 1, just maximum like 1. You can pass 2. Is it? You can pass 3. 1, 2, 3. You can pass 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it allows the number of parameters be whatever. Is it? So that's why we call it variable length of argument. Okay, so that it doesn't need to do the positional matching exactly. Is it? So that's very flexible. Okay. And over here just shows a very simple case. This is positional, is it? And you can call like this, or you can call like this, okay? And if you do provide y equals to something, this y must match your argument name. And there is another case. If you have 2 asterisks, previous one is a single asterisk. This is double. So what's the difference between these two? Is it, this is just for value, and this is going to represent for variable length of key value pair. Value pair. Okay, so what does that mean? Is it, so anyway, we don't need to worry about what this method does, is it? So anyway, this has 2 positional parameter. Okay, so when we call this method, we have first, so x matches 2, y is 1. Y is 1, is it? And if you take the third and the fourth, so this is what? So this represents, so this going to match the others. The other is what? Is a key value pair. Is a key value pair. So 4 will be key value will be 3 then in this case. Okay. So if you take a look at the code, then it will, so this represents dictionary basically. Okay, so that's why over here for the others, you can use the keys. Is it get to the key? So this will be key. Bar will be key. So when you plug in, you do key equal value, you plug in. Plug in with key value pair. Okay, so this is double asterisk's meaning. And what's next? And it's similar, okay. And because of variable length of argument, you can also pass a list. Okay, so that's what this part means. And the same thing for this one, is it? You can also pass a dictionary, is it? So in this case, this is the dictionary, is it? You can also pass it in. Okay, so local variable, global variable, this is a pretty similar concept in all of the other language. So what's next to do is you can also assign function to variable. Okay. So over here we define this Fahrenheit to Celsius, the temperature conversion, is it? Then you can assign this function to some variable. Then you call the function just with the variable name and plug in whatever the value. Okay, so this one is also pretty straightforward, is it? Okay, the next one, this is also quite useful, okay? Used a lot in professional world. It's a lambda expression, okay? So what a lambda expression is some function, but without name, okay, without name. So, but it still follow general function concept. You need to have parameter, is it? And this is a function body, okay? So the lambda expression is in Python, if you want to use, you need to provide this keyword lambda. So follow that, you list all of the parameters, not just a single, you can use multiple parameters, okay? Then you need to do colon. So parameter list, is it? And then colon, then function body. Okay, so function body, just as usual, is it? And in this case, if you take a look, this is also quite useful, is it? So this is T2 is a dictionary. So dictionary key is a string. The value is what? The dictionary is value. The dictionary value is what? It's the functions. Why we can do that? Because in Python, function is object, is it? So that's why you can also define function for a dictionary, is it? That's quite straightforward if you want to plug in specific value, is it? For the specific function. Then you see, you just mentioned that corresponding lambda expression, is it? So very concise way to do programming. So today, that's what all of this example shows. And for this note 3, all of the remaining part and in our machine learning programming, we never use that. So if you are interested in advanced Python program, you can learn it on your own. Okay, so. So basically, that's all of today's material.